What is going on? Welcome to Ryan and Brian Talk Sports plus NicLarson. As always, we appreciate you guys being here and we appreciate our sponsors, Pickett Sports and Sleeper Picks. How you guys doing? I know Ryan's doing great after a big Eagles win, but I'm not sure if Nick, do you have any thoughts on the weekend? Did you have a good weekend, bad weekend, average?
Good weekend betting. Watching the Bucks is getting frustrating when they go down 26 points at home to Portland, but they still won, so I'll take it.
It's not bad. You take that. Yeah, someone said we still alive, boys. Yeah, I actually yesterday, Ryan, I was tailgating the game all day. We got there around
That's what I'm talking
12.
about.
What?
That's what I'm talking about. Sounds
No, yeah,
awesome.
we got there. We got there like 12, and I like checked the weather, and I was packing for it to be like about 40 to 50 degrees and like not raining to the game. It started pouring like, from 2 to about like 11 p.m. And I was just outside in like a hoodie and a jersey, and it was a rough scene. I
Yeah, I
couldn't
can
my
imagine.
phone like my phone broke because it was in my pocket and all the water damage. I couldn't check around the league. I had no clue what David Njoku was doing. I was having spasms. It was bad, but it was a
Couldn't
good
keep
win.
up with your
It's a good
tight
win
end.
for yeah.
That's
It's
a,
a good
that's a
win for
first
Nick,
world
but
problem
yeah,
right there. You can't keep up with your bets, and you start itching a little bit, wondering what the fuck am I missing
yeah,
right now. It's tough looking
yeah.
at.
I was
I
just
hate to
gonna
see it.
say I'm not gonna focus too much on it, Ryan, but the best player in the league right now and the MVP favorite, Jake Elliott. He had a monster game yesterday, and it was just kind of funny because Tyler Bass missed 2 field goals. These two Bills fans behind us were screaming like at the 59-yarder, saying, "Oh, Bass missed two. There's no way that he's gonna hit it from this far out." And everyone kind of ever see that meme of like New Girl with Winston where he turns back at him. That's the entire stadium kind of did that to these obnoxious people that were screaming like that. Just kind of like
That's
a
awesome.
drilled it 60 yard in the rain. It was crazy.
It would have been good for another 5 yards too. He probably knocks that
Uh,
in from 65
he
the way
got
he
he
moved
got a hold
it.
of that. It was really fun to see. But we won't focus
Unbelievable,
all
man.
of this energy on the Eagles talk because I know Nick always hates it when we do this, but I just
Hey,
think it's a good way to
there
what?
was nothing. There's nothing more I enjoyed than watching Josh Allen lose. So
You have a personal
That
vendetta against Josh Allen. I did not know
yeah,
that. Is that
yeah,
yeah.
this
is
is
that like a
news.
low
I,
in
I like to
develop?
hear this.
Yeah,
Most
can you?
over. I mean, the guy gets no heat for anything. He's never won MVP. He's never gone to a Super Bowl, but he's like a top three quarterback. Nah,
Nah,
Give me Lamar Jackson over him.
I will say this. I feel like this is the first year that Josh Allen is getting a lot more criticism for his turnovers because usually it's just kind of like, oh, he's a gunslinger. It's like, all right, Peg, like he's got 16 interceptions right now. Like, let's calm down. So I think he's finally getting a little bit more.
0-6 in overtime.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know. I did not know that. Yeah, that's right. I did hear that. Yeah, the same
hold on.
Bills
What
fans were
was it?
saying that
He's
he's never won a
0-6
game in
in overtime.
overtime.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't know that until they said it yesterday. That's a hell of a stat right there.
So we'll move on to the NFL Monday Night Football game, but I just wanted to confirm because obviously I wasn't watching the game. Is it true that Tony Romo suggested that the Phillies, I mean the Eagles might go for a fake field goal on 4th and 17? Is that like a real thing? That's what Will Hill was saying. Is that
I
Tony
actually I
asked if
my
there's a
sorry. Go ahead.
possibility they go for the fake here, which would have been the dumbest play call of all time. I feel like at that point.
My audio was all kinds of messed up, so I stopped trying. So I actually missed that, but I saw that on Twitter that he said that.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy. That's a
that's
that's a
pretty
wild statement.
incredible. Yeah, not
Yeah,
bad, not
I
bad.
do appreciate the Eagles taking 2 false starts to get Elliott really into his range because I feel like we were a little too
Kelsey
close to
times
stuff.
two, nonetheless.
Yeah, that was an interesting play, but we appreciate that 10-1. It's gonna be a good game next week, so we won't go too far into it. So let's go right into the NFL game. Uh,
Hell yeah.
it is so. There was a lot of people that really thought Jefferson was going to play, and they were waiting on like Lions to play this, that, the other. I locked my plays in early in this game. I didn't think he was ever going to play, but we have the Vikings -3 against the Bears. How many plays do you guys have in this game here? Two, Ryan. You have
I have
two.
two
I have
kind. I
one.
actually just threw in two long shots right before we started. Sorry, Tony, I didn't send them to you, but I'll mention them briefly once we're done.
It's all good. I think, yeah, I have one. I want to talk about it, and then I think we can kind of. You weren't here, Ryan, last week, but me and Nick were so close to constructing like a parlay that we put together live on the show. It was like 4 or 5 legs, and it only
Should have hit in
lost
the
because
second quarter.
I know we only lost because of Sabonis. He didn't get the 12 rebounds. He had 7 in the first quarter, and I was texting Nick like, "Dude, we could do this. Like the first time we do this in the show, we're kind of rocking it right now. Everyone came together, and then Sabonis had 8.5, and then that died really quickly.
What
Apparently
did
for
you need?
rebounds, we needed 12 rebounds for Sabonis, and he had like 7 in the first quarter. But that was a game the Pelicans didn't miss a shot the rest of the game, and they
And they
won by
got
like
blown
60.
out and in foul trouble.
Damn,
Yeah.
that hurts.
So
Wow.
it was really rough.
Yeah, that's
But
pain. But I mean, hell, we could do that again today if that's what you're insinuating. I'm 100%
yeah, so
down.
I'm gonna kick it to Nick first. Nick, what is your first play of this Monday Night Football game that is guaranteed to hit?
Okay. Well, it did hit last week, so I'm
I'm
running
not.
back.
I didn't say I need to play the hit last week. I mean, it's got to hit
Well, it's going to hit
tonight.
because it hit last week. So
I don't think that's how that
Oh.
works, but I'm intrigued to see how you go with this.
Justin Fields rushing ladder. He's good at 3 things: running, throwing to DJ Moore, and losing football games. So I'll take the rushing aspect here.
The big three.
Yeah, big 3. He ran his first game back from his injury. He ran 18 times last week for 104 yards. I'm taking the 60 plus on DraftKings plus 115 up to 110 for plus 1,000. Everybody knows what kind of quarterback he is. He's not going to sit back there and pick you apart. If he sees a lane, he's going to run if he can. I don't think the Bears are going to ask him to sit back there and dissect the Vikings tonight. So he kind of is what he is. He's going to run if he can break a couple big ones. I really like the chances tonight.
I like that a lot.
I think Brian might like that play a little bit based off the Discord I just saw.
Yeah, I didn't even know that you were on that. I missed that entirely. So, decent segue into the fact that I'm on his over rushing yard. So, I don't really need to say too much else. I mean, I like that he had 14 designed runs last week, including 8 in the first half alone. So, I saw a lot of people on his 9.5 attempts. I love that look as well.
Yep.
I have no issue with that. But I love Fields rushing yard. I've been trying to target it a lot this year, actually with pretty minimal success so far up until last week. But it just finally seemed like they took the training wheels off. Like, hey, we know what his strengths are. Let's just play to his damn strengths instead of trying to change him into something else. And 14 design runs is damn near all I needed to see to take this line. Unfortunately, I got it at 52.5 earlier. That line is long gone. Unfortunately, that's the case with a couple lines that I'll throw out there. But it's minus 114 for 56.5 on Bet Rivers. It's minus 110 on ESPN. So still some playable lines. I like all of those. I love Nick's ladder look. I think he has the chance to blow this line out of the water.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because this is kind of off the topic, but still on the topic. Do you remember the Bucks game like week 2 or 3 of this year? The Bears made a statement that Justin Fields is like a pocket passer, like he can make plays and this, that, and the other. I laddered his passing yards that game, and I actually cashed the 200 plus, whatever it was. And watching that game, even I, who was winning bets, was like, "Wow, they should run more." Like they they do not look like they were not moving the ball as well you would hope as they do when they have him as a threat. I think he only had like 20 some rushing yards that game, and it takes a big man to be winning a bet and still look at the game and be like, "Oh, this is a bad game plan. This is not how they should run that offense." So I like that. I think Fields should be playing from behind. I know it's easy to say that just because they're 3-point underdogs, but
Game script, baby.
I think Josh Dobbs doesn't get the credit sometimes. Like I think he's doing enough to win games. Rough loss last week, but I still think the Vikings overall should be able to hold a lead against the Bears here.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, big fan of this spot. I actually have a long shot. Now, I just sent Tone 2 long shots at once. Actually, I'll circle back around because I just sent the same screenshot of both bets in one. We'll circle back to this shortly, but it involves Fields. Brian?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because my play here is also on the Bears, but it's not about rushing props. As I was just saying, they shouldn't throw the ball. I'm going to take a receiving prop for the Bears, and it is Roshan Johnson. I think Johnson is such a funny prop to play. It is super weird, but if you've been following me or this show, any receiving line that's under 10 is usually one I'll at least give a look to, especially in good spots. I think I'm surprised by this line. It's actually moved to 7.5 on DraftKings. I still look at 7.5, 8.5 FanDuel. I think under 10 is fine, but play it where you're comfortable only because these low props can be so fine that 1 yard is almost like a 20% increase of a line. So be careful with that. But I'm just surprised for a guy that has 10 or more receiving yards in 6 games this year out of the 9 he's played in. It's weird to see a 6.5 line without Foreman. Last week, Foreman ran 30% of the route participation. Johnson ran 24%. Without Foreman, it's just him and Herbert. And Herbert has not really been involved in the receiving game as much. So you have to think those 30% of route participation goes somewhere. I would imagine 20% of that 30% goes to Johnson. The Vikings have a good rush defense. They actually aren't. They're pretty stout against running backs in general, but when you're talking 7 yards for an entire football game, he's going to play a lot of the third downs. They're going to be hopefully playing from behind. You give me a first half, like 2-minute drill. I just need 7 yards for a guy that has a quarterback that would love to check it down or take off. And we just got to hope that he doesn't take off every single time and I get one check down or one little angle route. I was just surprised to see that this was so low when I woke up this morning. So I risked a unit and a half on it. I actually went a little bit heavier on it. So it is a low volume prop. He could have 0, which is always the issue with this, but he's getting 2 catches in most of his game, which is also plus money. I just don't see why this is as low as it was.
I love your plays with running backs with these like the obscure running back receiving plays.
They've been good too. Like
They have been super good.
It's a little strange that I found like a niche in this regard, but it's also so fun to know you're never, dead. Like yesterday in overtime, I knew my AJ Brown was dead because I needed like 60 more yards. This is one where no matter what point in the game, there's always a script that he gets
Just
a
one
catch
jump off away.
Yeah, so give me that one all day long. I don't know why it's 6.5. I think honestly, I debated trying to do a mini ladder, but I don't know if you guys know this. If your line is 6.5, 7.5, it's a jump to 25.5, and that's it. Like 20.5, you don't really get those 15 plus at plus 300. Like you don't get that. So if I did, I would sprinkle that, but they don't really offer many of those looks unless you have a book I don't have.
I have 2 thoughts on this play. Earlier today, I was looking at his over 1.5 receptions very heavily, and I really like it. I didn't lock it in, but I will say while you were going over your write up on sorry, what's his name, Roshan, I had a premonition. He's gonna have 0 catches 58 minutes into this game, and he's gonna get it under 2 minutes. He's going to catch an 11-yard pass.
I hate that you said that because you're still wishing me a winning bet, but like in the most terrible way possible. I would love it. How about this? Oh my gosh,
it's coming.
How funny
don't watch
would it be?
This game if this is your only bet, Brian?
Yeah. How funny would it be if like the first play they gave him a screen pass for like 12 yards? That'd be funnier. That'd be a better way, I think, to go for that. Yeah. This is a play I'm likely gonna have it on my second TV. Focus on the Sixers game and then just root for him to first be in the backfield and then 2 actually get a target. So if you're new to the show, there's nothing more electric than betting guys like this. Over I think it was 2 weeks ago was Miles Sanders we had for one of the games and he had nothing until the 2-minute drill and he did cash and there's just nothing better about that.
So
It was
awesome.
as a 4th down play. He gets his 10-yard catch and it was just electric. The group chat was going off. It was just, it's always fun when you get these kind of very low volume plays cashing like that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing for sure. Nick, did you have an additional play on this game?
Yeah, I have the second thing Justin Fields is good at is throwing to DJ Moore, so I'm taking his reception ladder.
This guy, man, he's gonna need so many catches for that to cash. You can't win in one play. That's what's the point of the prop?
Posted it this morning in Discord, and the odds are like completely nuked right now. So you'll probably have to start it at 6. I got 4.5 at minus 115. 4.5 is like minus 188 now, I think.
You can get minus 155 on ESPN. If
on ESPN,
okay. Yeah, ESPN has some solid NFL odds.
So I don't want to cut you off too much here, Nick. But you mentioned ESPN. Do you have ESPN bet, Nick?
Yeah.
Have you guys loomed it at all yet? Because I've had it for like 2 weeks, and I'm having trouble like betting straights already, and it's so annoying that I've started.
Not yet, no.
I've started to pair my straights with like minus 600 money lines for the sole reason just to get higher limits on stuff, and I don't know. I wasn't sure if they were cracking down on a lot of people yet or not.
No issue so far. We'll see. I'm sure it's coming at some point.
They just hate me, I guess. All right, whatever. Fuck that. Anyway, Nick, keep going.
So
That was a random tidbit I wanted to bring out because I've seen some people having issues with it, but I don't know. I don't know if it's people that had issues with their Barstool account already or just in general. So we'll see.
So his last 4 games with Fields, he's had 7, 5, 8, and 8 for receptions. Just seems to be Fields' go-to guy, and you can get him on a couple quick hitters, or doesn't have to be bombs to him. So if they do get behind and he's not running the ball, look for more to get peppered here with targets. I did take it up to 9 on FanDuel, which was plus 800. Not sure what it is right now, but like
490.
Ryan, 490. So like Ryan said, if you want to do ESPN, otherwise you probably have to start at 6 and then play it to 9. Just whatever you can get for best odds. I know Bet365 probably has way better, but don't have access to that.
Of
Yeah,
course.
the Bet365 people suck.
I have 365, but I was limited 3 months after I got the damn book, so it's big pain. It's big pain. It's like, yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, it's weird that talking about limits. My one MGM account and someone's just like a random account I have, I guess I should say. It's like the only thing I've ever had that hasn't gotten limited, and all my other MGM accounts got fried so quickly. I'm surprised. Like it's weird. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't know what constitutes limits at some books because I've had this one MGM account for almost a year and no issues with it. So hopefully that stays. But I don't know how they pick and choose who they hate and who they like. So
Yeah,
it's always interesting to me.
I was limited on
DJ more,
MGM and then didn't touch it for 2 years, and they unlimited me, so I'm back.
Oh, that's nice. I remember that, but I was going to say it was in coordination to Nick's play, kind of a much, much, much worse version of when you bet on like the Chiefs. DJ Moore is kind of that guy for the Bears where I really do not trust anybody else on this receiving core outside of him. Like I saw Mooney was like 24 and a half. Komet was like 34 and a half or 38 and a half. Like his line was high. I get the Vikings struggle to guard tight end at that position or in the middle of the field, but it's just so hard to trust anybody like to have an established role in this offense. Because as you guys mentioned before, you get into trouble, you see the blitz. Justin Fields is dumping that off right away or just taking off. It's not like he really extends a lot of plays and makes a play downfield. So outside of those quick hitters to more, I don't know if I really trust many of these pass catchers for the Bears team.
Yeah, I agree.
What else do you have in this game, Ryan? I know you have one more, right?
Yeah, I have a Vikings prop, actually. It could be our only Vikings prop. Nick, are you done?
I'm done.
And Brian, are you done as well?
Dude, I have the best prop in the game. I don't know what else you want from me.
I
brought my A game here with the Rashawn Johnson 6.5 receiving yards.
Noted.
And guess you know what's funny? You guys have the same play with Justin Fields. I came into here with no stress in my mind that someone else would have a same play as me and we'd overlap. I just knew in my.
I'm looking up running backs going forward. Backup running backs receiving yards.
That's right.
Nick's like I have 6 plays in this game. It's 3 receiving backs and 2 tight ends. It's like
2 tight ends.
Looking over to the Vikings side, I really like Jordan Addison. You can get his yards at 44.5, which I think is a really, really generous line. And I mean, this is kind of a crazy line to me. So the Bears secondary is kind of middle of the pack as far as yards allowed, but I don't know if that tells the whole story because they've lost so many games in blowout fashion. So, that kind of takes the second half away for passing plays. So they also do have one of the best run defenses in the league, which is really interesting. So they're kind of like one of those pass funnel defenses where they allow 36.5 pass attempts a game. And while I really like TJ Hawkinson tonight, I think he'll have a big night. I didn't really see any edge in his line, whereas Addison, I thought this line was really generous. In the 3 Dobbs games, he has 7, 7, and 6 targets. He's gone over in 2 out of 3, and the lone miss, he missed by 0.5 yards. So we're getting a wide receiver 1 versus a fairly mediocre secondary. It's not a terrible secondary. I'm not going to overstate that, but they're not really that good either. They're certainly not scaring me. So we get a wide receiver number 1 with a yards line at 44.5. I'm all in. I mean, in the 6 games without Justin Jefferson, he's averaged 61. So I love this play. I don't even know why this line exists.
Because I hate this prop because I actually am gonna bet it, and I never tail Ryan. Honest to God, I don't think I've ever. Besides DeAndre Ayton, which doesn't count, I don't know if I've ever had a play in this game in this show where I listen to you talk about it and I think, oh, I'm going to bet that real quick. This is one of them.
Thank
I
you.
want to see. I mean, that's a compliment to you. That's for
First
this
time in
player.
18 months I got Brian to tail, so you guys better be tailing.
44.5 still on ESPN bet. Yeah, I like
45
that.
and a half, 44.5 is wild to me. Yeah, minus 120 on ESPN. 45.5 is minus 110 on ESPN. FanDuel has this at 47.5.
I think
so,
that's the one thing I do enjoy about ESPN bet in their, their opening few weeks is that they do have a lot more of those alternative lines for each line. A little annoying there from what I hear, they are starting to limit players pretty quickly because they had such a chance to be at the top for a little bit, but their ladder / alt potential is really nice with how they have each point lined up like that. So I do like that, and I think it's very important to mention how good the Bears defense is to stop the run. I don't know what they're doing in that front seven, but they've been really good. The Vikings, even without Kirk Cousins, they're not afraid to abandon the run so quickly. They're a passing team at heart, even with the injuries they have. That I'd rather give it to Addison than Alexander Madison, who kind of runs like a traffic cone sometimes. He's really having a up and down season, so I do think there's a lot of value in that, and I'm gonna take that with you.
hell yeah, dude. I actually have two more sprinkle looks. Now, this is just simply doubling down on my guys that I've already taken, but this is a solo FanDuel play. So if you go under popular, you scroll down for a little bit, you're going to see most rushing plus receiving yards of the game. Jordan Addison is plus 800. Justin Fields is plus 1,200. So obviously Fields isn't going to be a factor in receiving, but I think on the ground alone, he has a 100-yard, potential here. Addison
He can catch a pass. Don't
I guess he
off.
could. It's not impossible, but obviously we don't want to count on that, but so much. But I really like these odds. The running backs in this game don't really scare me. It seems like a fairly even split between Herbert and Johnson, as well as Madison and then Chandler. So I don't really see any of those four guys exploding. I mentioned Hawkinson. I really like Hawkinson. He could have a big game. Obviously, DJ Moore is, he's a big fear, but plus 800 for Addison and plus 1,200 for Fields. So I just thought it was really good value. So these are 0.25 unit plays for me. Sprinkle spots. Put 12.50 on each of them, but really like the value, so I wanted to add those in as well.
Yeah, I like that. I'm actually looking to make a little fun thing because I know Caesars has that 50% boost for their Monday Night Football game. So I don't know if you have any closing thoughts on this game while I build this real quick.
I had one question for you.
Hell yeah.
Under specials, what are your thoughts on DJ Moore 25 yards each half plus 200?
What's the odds? 200. Yes.
These props are
and what's his actual
torture,
line?
dude.
Sorry, what's his actual line?
His actual receiving line?
Yeah, is it like how far did it creep up? I'm only wondering to see how that relates to his actual
61 and a half.
61 and a half. Yeah.
These props are torture. I had Derrick Henry this weekend, and he had 24 in the first half after a minus 4-yard rush. But I always tend to gravitate to them anyway, even though I'm not hitting like a great percentage because the value in them is pretty solid a lot of the time.
Right.
And the watching it is also a lot of fun, even though it pisses me off more than anything. But plus 200 for that seems very reasonable. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a fun one. Let me see here. Yeah, you know what? We'll talk it more off the air. I forgot how bad Caesar's same game parlay look was because I just try to build it out, and it's a little annoying that for a guy like Addison, you have to go with 25, 50, 75. Like they don't really have a lot of those, niche markets. Like we just talked about the ESPN having the ladder potential or the alt potential. So we'll figure that out later. But I do think there's a lot of love for all that. Before we go to NBA, do you guys want to do our first touchdown? I think no one's won yet.
Yeah, we're all over. Love that.
You don't remember last week? Brian.
No.
Ryan wasn't on here, and you hit the first touchdown for one team. I hit the first for the other, and Tone had the exact score.
All right, I forgot Ryan missed that, and we had the best week ever. Yeah, I forgot Ryan missed one
What?
week. And weirdly enough, Ryan, you didn't get a first touchdown, but everybody else did. Like we all had the same one, which is against the rules, but we allowed it for 1 week. So you're getting screwed in these odds. Actually, I did have Jalen Hurts last week, if you remember. He scored the second touchdown. So
who scored first last week?
It was Justin Watson.
And you guys have that?
Our second guess, but no one actually picked him.
Classic.
But because I got Hurts at plus 800 and he scored second for the first team, I made a new rule that I get half the odds to my total for the year. It's a 1 week only thing, so we'll start that last week and we'll end it there. But we'll go this week. Ryan had first pick last week. Who has not had a first pick yet? Just Tone, right?
Tone.
I think Tone.
Tone
So Tone, you get the first pick of the first touchdown odds.
All right.
Nice.
Ryan, do you have the odds in front of you?
I do. Thank you to Pickett Sports. And if you are new to the show, starting to last 2 weeks ago, we've kind of just for fun have been trying to track who can get the most first touchdowns, and we're doing so well with 0-2, which is pretty good considering that we've picked
when somebody hits one.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think there's 4 people, and it's all the same game. So that means 0-4 for 2 games, which is honestly, it's kind of funny in a sad way, but it's kind of good in a way to say I stopped playing first touchdown scores almost completely, and it's a little comforting to see exercise like this to show how hard it can be to kind of hit these props. So
it'd be more impressive if we didn't hit any.
I would rather that than have one or two people win. That's what I would think. I think that'd be more fun.
Okay.
All right, so Tone Sam, you get the first crack at this.
I have a gut instinct of who I want to pick, but Brian, could you read off the odds for me?
Oh, right, of course. I'm an idiot. So Alexander Madison plus 900, TJ Hockenson plus 900, Justin Fields 10-1, Khalil Herbert 10-1, DJ Moore 11-1, Jordan Addison 11-1, Joshua Dobbs 11-1, and I'm going to take a mini pause here. This is partly why they're so annoying to bet, because that right there is 6 or 7 players at 11-1 or less in a game like this. That's just asinine, but I'm going to keep going. Ty Chandler 13-1, Cole Kmet 14-1, Rashawn Johnson 16-1, KJ Osborne 18-1, and then Brandon Powell 25-1, along with Darnell Mooney, and then we'll stop there. If you guys want to go farther than that, power to you.
So I'm going to take one of the guys at 11-1. Give me Josh Dobbs. Run it in on a broken play.
I like that. Hold on. So that's Tone. Who wants to pick second? I don't know. I don't have it in front of me because I'm an idiot. So.
Go ahead, Nick.
Give me Josh Oliver. He's probably plus 4,000.
He's 40-1. Yeah.
Yep, exactly right.
Didn't he score first 60-1 last week? I believe.
I couldn't tell you.
I think he did. I'm gonna go because if Ryan takes one, I'll be really pissed off. I'm gonna go Cole Kmet.
You motherfucker! I was just about to take.
Were you going to? Because I was worried Tone was gonna take him because I told him I was taking him at the other show because we did first touchdowns. I took Cole Kmet. I do think Cole Kmet is a decent one. I kind of mentioned earlier how the Vikings really struggle to guard tight ends, and I already said this earlier, Ryan. That's why I need to take this one. I called it that 6-yard touchdown Cole Kmet. It's going to be like a shotgun play. It's going to be a fake handoff. Justin Fields is going to run, trips right, where everyone kind of rushes to the quarterback like it's T-ball at your son's game. And it's going to be one of those little dink routes where Cole Kmet's going to be on the left side of the field and no one's going to remember that he exists. And he's going to score a touchdown wide open.
Nice.
That's going to happen. So while everyone's screaming for Justin Fields to score their anytime touchdown, their hopes and dreams are going to be Cole Kmeted as he scores in the end zone.
Beautiful. Yep, I like it. That's who I was going to take. So out of spite, I'm going to go with the chalk and go DJ Moore at 11-1.
I like this. So we have a lot of Bears players here, and then I think just Tone Stamp is going to be rooting for Joshua Dobbs to run him down the field there. And this is so funny.
Nick is Oliver.
That's fair, but Oliver's not going to count. So I'm talking about people that can score first is what I'm trying to say. So this is a little bit frustrating.
Double up on that one now
because no one took Justin Fields, and I have a feeling that this is going to be the game where it's going to be Justin Fields, and we all sit there in the group chat being like, "God damn it! How did we?
It's like a 90-yard touchdown.
How did no one get Justin Fields, the one guy that we should have probably taken?" So this will be fun. So we have those picks in. So for tonight, Tone has Joshua Dobbs. Nick went out with Josh Oliver. He pulled a Samandre P round like I did. He went way down the list. I went with Cole Kmet, and then Ryan took DJ something, whatever the guy naming for the Bears. I never heard of him. So we'll move on now. The ticker says it's NBA time. There's 5 games on tonight. I know there's some late injury news in the Jazz game that came out later.
Jokic is out too. He just got announced out a moment ago.
Jokic is out. I will say, I think we all knew Jokic was going to play. Not that, not like anyone's here super smart, but whenever you have a guy on a back-to-back like that, high pace, he's listed healthy, then questionable, then whatnot, this, that, the other. A lot of times in the NBA, I feel like you'll see the writing on the wall. So I wish I maybe hopped in some props there, but there was not a lot listed. So Jokic is out. We have a 12-point spread in the Blazers game. Sixers Lakers have all the components to be a great game, which kind of scares me because I would hate for that to be a shitty game to watch. I'm excited for that one. How many plays do you guys have on this slate?
3.
3?
All ladders.
3. So we all have 3 plays, except for me. I have 1. And I think we can go with Ryan first year because Nick started us off last time.
Yeah, sounds good. I also wanted to mention the chat. There's been some comments that I wanted to get to.
Oh yeah, go for it. I saw people trying to get your attention, and you just blatantly ignored them a few times.
Jared Jasso said, Ryan, I have one for you a little earlier ago. You're more than welcome to share into the chat. JJ said, hey, Ryan, it's Kobe. And then he ended up mentioning that Josh Oliver, 2 catches for plus 150, which I think that's a really good number. I'm pretty intrigued by that myself. So, yeah, and he's going to catch the first touchdown. So that's going to be one right off the bat. So,
weirdly enough, he's going to get the first touchdown for you, Nick, but it's going to be the second catch in the third quarter.
There you go. But yeah, we can move on to NBA. I'm going to start off with I actually have 2 pretty chalky ones, then I guess one a little less chalky. I'm going to ladder some guy named LeBron James tonight. His odds aren't quite as good. Actually, they're really not that changed off of what I got. I took 24.5 at minus 125. ESPN now has minus 130, so that line's still pretty widely available. You can also do the 25.5 at minus 104 on FanDuel. I have no problem with that. And then I took them for 30 as well as 35. Actually, 35's odds are even a little bit better than earlier. So I'm just sitting here looking at the Sixers lineup.
If you're new to the show, if you have odds that don't last to the show, it usually means you're not that good of a capper / sports bettor. So Ryan is what he lost CLV. That's what I just want to point that out. He lost value on his plays.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm sitting here looking at the Sixers lineup, just wondering how the hell are we going to guard this guy? So we have Tobias Harris, then we have Nick Batum, and I don't know, man. I'm not too worried about
no
those
Daniel
guys
House, which is actually bigger than people realize.
Who?
I said no Daniel House either, which actually is pretty decently big. People don't realize that, but he usually gets us 18 minutes. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be tougher to guard.
Yeah, I just don't see us having anybody that can guard this man. So
Batum's our only bench wing too. After losing, House, Springer's out, Kelly Oubre is still out. So
if we ever bother to try with Marcus Morris, we're in big trouble. They're kind of middle of the pack versus power forwards, but like as I'm looking through, I've seen like they've had a fairly easy schedule versus power forwards and even some fives that play aggressively. I mean, Chet is a 5. Now he got more of the Embiid matchup. He actually kind of tore him up, which I was super impressed. But they just gave up 33 to Chet. They gave up 18 to Evan Mobley. They gave up 27 Obi Toppin, 29 to Kyle Kuzma, 29 to Tatum. So like I don't know. I just don't see who the hell is going to guard him on this team. So big aggressive guys that attack the rim have seemed to be our weakness. So I think LeBron can have a field day here. He's shooting 55% from the field for the season, and he's coming off 2 down games where he shot 47% in one and 35% in the other. The 6 games prior to that, he shot 55% or better, including like 60% in almost all of those except for 1 or 2. He had 2 games of 35 and 37 3 and 4 games ago. So this isn't really this doesn't feel outlandish at all. This feels extremely possible, and to get plus 600 for 35 here, I'm all for it. I feel like this is like a huge mismatch. He also played the Sixers in January of last year, back when we had PJ Tucker, who I would think would be kind of like a guy that would stand to slow him down a little bit. LeBron dropped 35 that game. So I love the spot for LeBron. I guess my biggest hesitation now is that for some reason Paul Reed gave Anthony Davis some bulletin board material and was was
Yeah, what
talking
was that
shit about
about?
him, which is kind of weird. But it still feels like a good LeBron night. Davis has fared okay versus Embiid, but he's still got a semi-tough matchup, whereas LeBron should just feast on whoever the hell we try to put in front of him. So took him for 24.5, took him for 30, took him for 35.
I like that. Nick, do you want to go second here? Yeah. Do you have
Yeah.
all ladders as well?
No, only one.
You have one ladder. You have the Applebee's. You have the Wendy's.
The Wendy's.
And then
Yep, you got it.
Yep, and then you have the McDonald's. Like I'm loving it. Play. What
Not
else?
yet.
What else is there? What else can there be? I'll come back next show and I'll try
You
to
need to
figure
come
out
up with one. Yeah.
some more boosts and stuff for you to have along with that.
Okay. So we got the Applebee's 2 for 20 to start with. Cunningham and MPJ each to score 20. Porter's locked right now because of the Jokic news, so I'm assuming probably won't get the same value, but I'll still like the play. Both to score 20 was plus 177. Cunningham, super good matchup against the Wizards, who are terrible on defense, especially against guards. No Jokic, no Murray, no Gordon. Porter's probably going to get all the shots that he can handle. So really like both of those spots, plus 177.
Nice.
I
like that a lot.
Yeah. Oh shit. Nick didn't send me the 2 for 20 play. Oh well, Nick. I guess you can't use that. You're not allowed to
Doesn't
use
count.
that play unless it loses. Then it
That one
counts
didn't.
as a loss. That's
Okay.
fair to me. I
Loss
think.
only. Okay.
Yeah, it's a loss only. It's a lose like real life. I'm glad that Ryan mentioned the Sixers game. It should be a good game. Do you have any more plays in that game, Ryan? The Sixers Lakers, or is your other
Nope.
plays on?
Yep, other games.
I'm gonna take this Lakers game real quick and give out my play. I haven't even posted yet. It's like this is a big deal. It's
Wow, this is exclusive.
honestly, it's never before seen footage.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Yeah, it's actually plus 100 still on ESPN Bet. We talked about earlier.
I take just a guess before you say it.
Yeah, sure.
Is
Who
it
do you
like-
think I bet on in this game? That's pretty crazy because it's not a mainstream name.
D'Anthony Melton.
Yeah, Ryan got it. Yeah, D Melt. Yeah, I took
Well, there it
D'Anthony
goes.
Melton. I actually took a same game parlay, Ryan, of D'Anthony Melton 12 plus points and Joel Embiid. I'm not sure if you recognize the name. I took him 5 plus assists. This is one of those things where I'm a little bit weary because I used to bet on Joel Embiid's assists and I was so big on it at the start of the year. I stopped betting it and now it just keeps hitting every week and I keep getting really pissed off that I have no action in it. And now I think I'm going to ruin his streak. He has 5 more assists in 7 straight games. He's actually just playing really good basketball. I know he gets a lot of hate in the media and this, that, and the other. He's passing really well out of the elbows. And this is a matchup where the Lakers allow so many 3-point attempts to go in. They are really bad at defending the 3 in terms of 3-point percentages. So if you watch a lot of Sixers basketball, that elbow look of Joel Embiid, say back to the basket to Anthony Davis, give me all of the pass outs to D'Anthony Melton for 3. Melton is shooting the ball so well right now. He's playing upwards of 40 minutes a night ever since I kind of mentioned earlier, no Springer, no House, no Oubre. They're shorthanded, and D-Melt kind of brings a lot of versatility to this team. He's able to play the shooting guard role. He plays on ball. He plays off ball. Really good defender. This is just a matchup where I think he's going to get a lot of minutes. And same with Joel Embiid. I'm not usually the kind of person that references like, oh, it hit in 7 straight games, but same with Joel Embiid. He has 12 or more points in 7 straight games. He's playing a lot of minutes, a lot more fast break opportunities in this game. And Joel Embiid's actually been a lot better in the fast break or faster pace looks that give me some Joel Embiid rebounds where he throws a full court pass and Melton gets to the cup. So I just think there's so many, opportunities here, and it's kind of correlated to the point where if Melton's scoring, a lot of times he gets those buckets off Joel Embiid, finding space, drawing in the defense, and Melton can just knock him down. So I think 12-5 is a really good look for plus 100. If you don't have ESPN Bet, it is minus 101 on FanDuel, so you lose a whole cent. And then in the chat, someone said Joel Embiid triple-double against the Lakers. I actually really wanted to sprinkle on triple-double. My biggest concern is, Ryan, do you know what the price is for a triple-double?
I don't, but I can find out pretty
Can
quickly.
you guess real quick? Because I know what it is, and it's going to gross you
Plus
out.
800 or something?
Yeah, it's like 950. That's my only thing is, do I think he can get a triple-double? He had 9 assists last game. He's passing a lot better. But even if it happens, it's almost like, is he really a 10-1 guy? I don't think he is. I mean,
A bit
I love the
egregious.
guy. I love the guy to death, but he's flirted with it 2 of the last 3 games. He had 9 against the Nets, 9 against the Thunder. I just don't know if I want to buy in at plus 1,000 or plus 950. It's just so tough to kind of get behind.
Yeah, I don't argue with that at all. That's a tough price, man. That's kind of insane that even exists.
Yeah, and we talked about a little bit earlier with first touchdown scorers, MVP, whatnot. When books do not offer a no option, they can really gouge you on prices because I don't think this should be a 10-1 option, but because there's no two-way line, they really can just set whatever price they want, and you either play or you don't. And
Yep.
it's kind of shitty for the bettors, but I just had a hard time, putting that in a sprinkle or a parlay or something like that because of that price.
Yeah, shout out to ESPN for offering 2-way touchdown markets. I like that. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
We need more of that, and hopefully it extends to more markets, kind of like this.
Next time we come in here, Ryan, let's get a Monday Night Football parlay of like no touchdown scores. That'd be fun. Like a plus 100 2-leg parlay. That'd be a fun thing. Because as fun as it is to root for your guy to score, I can't imagine a more fun feeling to root for your guy not to score. That sounds
Imagine they get on the 2-yard line and the guy you have to not score isn't even on the
field. Is
field.
Jalen Hurts, and you're like, fuck.
That's
my play. Plus 100. Melton 12 points. Embiid 5 assists. I like Melton at 13.5 as well. I just kind of like this pairing and the alt lines for both of these guys.
Cam Reddish has also just got ruled out, so it makes me like Melton even more.
Yeah.
Although I would imagine Reddish would have gotten Maxey most of the time anyway, but Melton should have a pretty good matchup regardless who stands in front of him.
I mean, Austin Reeves can't guard. I like Austin Reeves, but AR-15 is just – he's got slow feet. I think this would be a fun game. Like I said, I really hope this is one where it is fun. I might actually throw in like a long shot parlay. It just feels like as long as it stays within 10, these two teams should be able to fill up the box score.
For sure. Nick, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, so to ruin your Embiid assists,
fuck. Did you allow his points or something? What did you do?
No, he's in the 4 for 4.
Oh, for assist? Oh no, we're fine. We had SGA last
deal
time.
With that. We like that.
So I think
it only works. I think the curse only works.
It's like the main play.
If we take it the same thing, like if I take the PRA and you take the PRA, it's like fuck. Like what are we gonna do now? Okay. But the 4 for 4 I think is safe because last time SGA had the 10 assists double, and I was a little upset I didn't sprinkle a double from plus 500 that game, but I think we'll be fine.
Okay. So we've got Daniel Gafford 4 rebounds for the Wizards. Kyle Kuzma, 4 assists, Wizards. Embiid, 4 assists, Sixers. And Paul George, 4 rebounds for the Clippers. And that's even money for the 4 for 4.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Nick, are you all set? Did you have anything else?
I got the 1 ladder left.
Okay, gotcha. I have 2 ladders left, and then Brian, you just had 1 play?
Yeah, I had 1 play, and I had 1 spot I was looking at, but I decided I couldn't play it because if I'll say this, DeAndre Ayton is 100% scoring 16 more points. I just couldn't get myself to bet the over 14.5. It's a great matchup.
He was almost a member of the 2 for 20 tonight.
Yeah, no, he's in a great spot. I just couldn't get myself to do it. I don't know, in a back-to-back type situation, 12-point spread, just did not really want to fire it. But I was hoping someone else would, so I would be able to tail and not be my fault. But whatever.
There you go. I'll go ahead and I'll say one of my ladders. Nick, you could say yours, and then I can, I guess, wrap up the show with my last one. I'm going to go Jaden Ivey. I took him for 15.5, 20, and 25. He's coming off a 25-point game. This is only going to be his 4th start of the season. So I've been a big fan of his talent. Last year, Cade Cunningham missed a ton of the season, and Ivey got all of this run. He averaged like 19 points after the All-Star break. He comes in this season, and Monty sends him right to the bench, and he just kind of like played with his tail between his legs for the first 10-ish games or so. They're starting to take the training wheels off. They've inserted him into the starting lineup. He's coming off, his best game of the season in a really great matchup versus Indiana, and then he gets another really great matchup tonight versus Washington, who, I figure he's kind of like a slasher scorer. So Daniel Gafford at the rim is not frightening me at all. I think Ivy should be able to get to the rim pretty much at will here and go crazy. So, like I said, he's coming off a 25-point game. I love that he's getting an opportunity, and I really like the value to see if he can do it again. So, went for 15.5, 20, and 25.
Yeah, the choice to start Killian Hayes over Jaden Ivey is still one that I wholeheartedly agree with. But no, I was gonna say it's a very interesting decision that they did that because Killian Hayes plays basketball blindfolded. I think Jaden
He's
Ivey
so
is
bad.
he's
And
just
and Hayes
you
last
thought that
game, granted,
I honestly I thought the change of coach would kind of wean off the Killian Hayes love a little bit, but Monty now loves him. It's weird. I get he's a great defender, but you also have to be able to dribble, shoot, pass, run, not be ass. Like there's a lot more that goes into basketball, so it's
yeah. And
interesting to say the
I,
least.
I was a little worried of Cade, like, kind of taking this game over and not leaving enough volume for Ivy. But Cade took 26 shots last game. He had 31 points, and Ivy still managed 25 on 16 shots. He also got to the line 9 times. So, a really nice usage. And again, going against Washington, I really like the spot. Last game, our boy Killian Hayes was minus 25 in 17 minutes. So I don't know how much longer they can go on with this experiment. They claim he's a good defender. I don't even know about that, but he might be the worst basketball player I've ever seen in my life. So it's Jaden Ivey time, man. Let's get this guy some tick, and I think good things will come of it.
It's so funny you say that because like you've never like watched a rec game or anything. Like it's Killian Hayes is the worst thing.
So bad, dude.
He's a rough watch. He is a rough watch. I think I'm a little upset that his lines are so low this year because every time it was over 11.5 last year, I take his under. This year he's getting a lot more 9.5 lines, which is a little bit annoying. So it is what it is. Nick, you have one more, right?
Yeah. So kind of a weird player to take a ladder on here, but the value I think is pretty good. Dyson Daniels for the Pelicans.
Fucking Daniels, baby.
Rebound ladder. He is a guard, but he's 6'7", so he's a big guard. Over 4.5 on FanDuel, minus 115. Taking 6, 7, and 8 on DraftKings, and then 10 for plus 1,200 on FanDuel. He's hit over 4.5, 7 of his last 9 games since he came into the starting lineup. He has 2 games of 8, a game of 9, and a game of 10 mixed in there, so he is capable of hitting the upper end of the ladder there, and he's playing between 30 and 36 minutes most of these games, so he's getting a lot of run out there and doesn't have the ball in his hands a lot, so he's able to pick up a lot of these rebounds. So sneaky spot, I think, for him against the Jazz tonight.
What's his triple double odds? Is it good or is it like
I do love it.
Might not exist.
We were talking. You could probably. I don't even think you get to 10 on his assist. Like 8, 10 rebounds. You probably get something crazy for like 10 rebounds, 10 points, 8 assists. But Ryan and I were talking before, and we really liked his rebounds and assists look too.
Yeah, RA at 9.5 plus odds looks really good. I mean, this one was actually a little under the radar for me. Nick brought this fully to my attention. So, but if you go look at his game logs, assists, he has like one outlier 0 game, but he's had 5+ in damn near all of these games, and then the rebounds he's going crazy. So,
here you go. Ready for this, Brian?
Yeah,
8 assists, 10 rebounds is plus 7,300. Throw in 10 points.
Let's do it.
Throw in 10 points, you got plus 12,000.
And like that's probably gonna win, right? Like there's no way.
Probably.
Like I don't see how it doesn't win.
I don't see how it doesn't win. That's a fact.
Like I don't know how it doesn't win. He's gonna have what 15, 15, 13, like a crazy ass game.
Yeah, Russell, like a Washington Wizard Russell Westbrook kind
that
of game.
Russell Westbrook 2020 game. That's happening tonight.
Man, you remember those times, dude? I remember sitting there looking at 13.5 rebounds and 13.5 assists, and it was like plus 300 for Russell back in the day. Just never see anything like it. We might never see anything like it.
Were his triple doubles negative, like minus odds?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got to minus 200.
He had like 63.5 in a row, right? Like he had he had a lot of the triple doubles in a row. I remember because I used to work that during that Wizards time is when I worked full time in market, like on market 13th of market in in Philadelphia. And my office, we'd always have these betting talks after or like during lunch breaks. And that was a big thing. It's like, oh, what's a triple double? Minus 165. It was just like it was bad. Like it was like a horrible time to be alive where you're trying to bet a Russ triple double because you could not do it without having to parlay it with something to get it to plus money. It was just every single game he was doing it. So it was a fun time. But
yeah, what a time to be alive that was, man. Wow. Crazy
I think
to see that
people forget that he was a wizard for that long. Like he was a wizard and he just racked up stats. The team still sucked, but he was out there getting his 12, 11, 11, and then he'd pay people to he'd pay Kristaps and some other guys to never get rebounds so he can get all of them. Make sure that they cleared out all the defenders. He would get all the rebounds. It looked pretty ugly basketball, but they did it. And then I guess they sold tickets, like maybe like 3 more than usual. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Gotta love it.
I don't know. I don't know what that's about, but we're gonna skip the pick it popular plays because we kind of ran a little bit late. So do you guys want to just go right into our recap and then head out, or do you have one more, Ryan? Do you have one more?
Yeah, I have one more. And then I can.
This
and then
fucking guy. Yeah,
you
okay.
guys can recap. Yeah, we keep the plays rolling in this show, man. We don't fuck around.
No, I stopped having as much volume because you guys have been killing it. So I'm just kind of like the MC of this show right now. So I kind of like it. I've
You're
been
the
like
point guard, man. You just distribute.
I've been quietly going like 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 a few weeks ago. Like just very quietly, and then letting you guys do all the cool shit so we get more followers and more viewers.
I love it. What a sacrifice, man. What a sacrifice. Yeah. My last one is fairly chalky. Probably one of the more popular guys tonight. I'm going Zion Williamson, points ladder. His 25-5 has become a slightly juiced, but still very takeable. Minus 120 on 365, minus 122 on FanDuel are your best options, unless you're still in a points bet state, which I don't know if does point bet still exist.
Yeah,
is everybody Fanatics now? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I still have points bet, but yeah.
Oh, do you really? Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I just got Fanatics last week. Anyway, around it, Walker Kessler is back, so I'll kind of preface with that. But when Kessler was playing, they were allowing like 53 points in the paint. When Kessler was off the floor, they were allowing 54. So it's like a mute point that he's back. He is like, he is somewhat of a good defender, but he wasn't really changing this team defense that is just really bad. Zion is coming off a game where he took 25 shots. His usage rate was like 39.6. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of call my shot. I think Zion sets his season high. Season high is prior's 32. I think he gets closer to 40 in this one. He gets a pace up spot. Utah plays at the 7th fastest pace. I also like to target Zion after he gets some time off. So he missed last game. So he's on 2 days rest. So he gets a little recovery time after eating all that Bojangles, which is nice. In games with 2 days rest, he's shooting 65%, whereas he's shooting 54% for the season. Sorry, it rounds up to 55%, but 10% improvement on efficiency when he has 2 days rest. So we have a fairly decent sample size on that too so far. So when he's fresh, he's been going crazy. He's not missing shots, and this is such a good matchup. I don't know if you guys can hear my dog barking in the background. Just ignore that. I really can. Can you really?
Yeah.
I'm hoping my wife will actually do something about that eventually. But Zion ladder. I took him for 25-5, 30, and 35. I think he sets his season high tonight.
I like that. I think Zion is very polarizing in this space, but he has the talent. He just has to want to score, and I think this is a good matchup for him to do that. So I like that. Do you have anything to add for either slate, or do you guys want to just kind of go into the recap and everyone kind of go out, eat dinner, and then watch some basketball before the Monday Night Football game starts?
Hell yeah, let's do that.
I will start us off because I have a whopping 2 plays on the show, which even with 2 plays, we went right to the wire and we had to cut a thing out. Yeah. So I'm glad I did that. So I went with the best running back of our generation, Rashawn Johnson, over 6.5 receiving yards. I actually risked 1.5 units on that. I think it's a really good spot, under 10 yards. And I took a same game parlay of Joel Embiid, 5+ assists paired with DeAnthony Melton, 12+ points. The best odds are going to be on FanDuel or ESPN Bet if you have it. DraftKings is like minus 130. Don't want to play it there. Closer to even money there. So I got it plus 100. It's still there at ESPN Bet.
Nice. Nick, go ahead.
NFL, I have Justin Fields rushing ladder, DraftKings 60 through 110 rushing yards. Also DJ Moore reception ladder, wherever you can get the best for 4.5, or you might have to skip and go right to 6 receptions and then run that to 9. And then Wendy's 4 for 4, Gafford from the Wizards 4 rebounds, Kuzma Wizards 4 assists, Embiid Sixers 4 assists, Paul George Clippers 4 rebounds. Ladder with Dyson Daniels rebounds 4.5 on FanDuel. Move over to DraftKings for 6, 7, and 8. Back to FanDuel for 10. 2 for 20. Cunningham from Detroit for 20. Michael Porter Jr. from Denver for 20 is plus 177 on FanDuel.
Love it. And somebody asked about TJ Hawkinson touchdown. I like it. I don't really have too much issue with it. I just saw Brian commented, yeah, Chicago is really good at limiting the run. I guess our biggest fear would be Josh Dobbs kind of taking it into his own hands and rushing it in. But I think Hawkinson's due for a really big game. Yeah. Toad just went crazy in the background. Yeah, preferably first touchdown. I'll go ahead and wrap us up. I went Jordan Addison over 44.5 receiving yards on ESPN. I took Justin Fields. This number's risen quite a bit, but it's 56.5 or 57.5. I like whatever number you can get. I'm down. I think Fields blows through this number here. Moving over to NBA, I laddered LeBron James, some guy named LeBron James at 24.5. Took him for 30 and 35 as well. I then went to Zion Williamson for a ladder. I took him at 25.5, 30 and 35 as well. And then I took Jaden Ivey from the Detroit Pistons, who will be their starting shooting guard tonight, for 15.5. I may have moved to 16.5. I forgot to double check on that, but I still like that, obviously. And then I took him for 20 and 25 as well. Fun show. I actually really like this NBA slate a lot. Despite it being 5 games, I think we have some of the more fun teams playing. So a lot of 230 and up over under. So let's have some fun, man. I think this is going to be a really good night. So we appreciate you guys watching. We have a lot of fun doing this show. Thanks to Pick It and Sleeper Picks for sponsoring our show, and we will see you next week.
Great show, guys.